Heartbeat. 2 breaths. One doesn't exist without the other. 2 lives, same skin. Every black sun has a praying mother. Crispy sun on my skin, I'm gonna win. All the angels on my side today. Roasted leaves in my heart, I'm gonna sin, 'cause I know that my mama's gonna pray. Do whatever I want, sneak out at night. Strangers don't scare me. Body open, welcome to all. God protects the flesh. Crispy sun on my skin, I'm gonna win. All the angels on my side today. Roasted leaves in my heart, I'm gonna sin, 'cause I know that my mama's gonna pray. Eyes stay closed during prayer. Good book closed on bedside table. Can't be human without temptation. Cross my forehead in oil. Lay hands over me when I sleep. You can be the devil, I can be the angel. Crispy sun on my skin, I'm gonna win. All the angels on my side today. Roasted leaves in my heart, I'm gonna sin, 'cause I know that my mama's gonna pray.
I like sleeping alone, but sleeping with you is warmer. I like warmth, but my favorite side of the pillow is the cool side. I like soft pillows and soft hands and soft hearts.
Knuckles and shells, we've been through hell. Came up around niggas that don't know the inside of self, but do know the inside of selves. Learn before 10 that there's always a price for help. See niggas vow to post bail and then die the same day. See niggas die by the lot. Lying out loose by the wayside, lucky if it's just from bruises, not bullet wounds. I seen confusion rip roots from the family tree. I seen seclusion mistaken for branching off. Holding on tight makes you shake like an autumn leaf. Life tries to choke you the more you keep hanging on.
Unsound the alarm. Uncrack thunder. Unring the bell. Take back a moment of truth. A moment that stopped friendship. Reverse decision to open chest, heart seen. Bell unrung. Together. Silent grief. Chatting and laughing. Fantasy's gone. Friends. Just friends. Bell is ringing. Know you no more. Lightning strikes. Strangers again.
To go back in time is a pleasant gift, granted to none, but I remain hopeful, yearning for then with new knowledge. If we could unring the bell, close that door we opened, what would that look like? Would we still be? Would your love remain true?
I know grief as a primal kind of haunting. Hard to shake out of the body because it is as old as the experience of living. And ain't many things with flesh and sense that wouldn't agree with me either. I mean, I've seen the way the freest animals pay respects. Watch the magpies mourn. How they lay grass by their dead homies like dressing lilac on tombstone. Like pouring foreign ounce libation over gasping concrete, seen elephants wheeze and kick up dust. Lay out trunks over dead loved ones like their ancestors did millions of years ago in seasons without the sun. It is a funny thing how the absence in one body can affect the presence in another. Somewhere out there, before the thought of you, a neutron star has died twice to produce the gold we put in our teeth and wrap around our fingers in weddings. In particle physics, the difference between the gold in a 10-karat grill and the gas in a star is called information. How particles choose to work together. choose to align their bodies into what they want the truth to be instead. And what is the information of a soul? What does it mean for my smallest parts to be aware enough to know they soon won't be? And even if my life burns bright, what finger will I be wrapped around when my name has faded for the second time? Just whose teeth will I shine in then? The difference between the first day of grief and any other day has always been information. How the living choose to work together, choose to align their bodies into what they want the truth to be instead. And what does it mean to barely felt your presence, but to feel all of your absence? I mean, I have never in my life been jealous of Ben Stiller before I'd seen your body statue stiff and shiny like a wax figure, before I'd seen your corpse bit between the gums of rigor mortis, watch my auntie shake herself into a 9 on the Richter. You used to preach on perseverance, standing firm behind the podium. Today, the memory of you lays statuesque, daisy pressed between the pages of the moments I still can't forget, even when I try. And when God says love your neighbor, I think he means that love is a commandment, a group effort, a requirement. Means that grief has its season like every other emotion, and it is not meant to be experienced alone. Means that a magpie can recognize its own corpse, and the magpie can recognize its own reflection in another's corpse and no slay grasped by it. That the mourning of the mammoths is not lost in their descendants means to stay tied as tight as particles, even when the star that brought you together folds in on itself. To make another precious shining thing out of all that new information. Even when the season has moved on before we have. Even when we can't recognize our reflection in the mirror. Even when it's more than just space that separates us. Even when we feel we have lost ourselves.
Dead. We're all dead. Even in life, human beings are mere mortals, given the illusion of truth, left exposed and displaced. Violent desires for the veil of security. Empty. We are empty. Yet unaware of our state, left in the dark and robbed of everything. Dead. We're all dead. Incarnate flesh, floating through space, a fragmented soul given a name and a language, left to pretend that you understand. The echo of idle talk rings loudly in my head, interchangeably uttering sweet nothings and the most vile obscenities imaginable, and you're left with nothing. Though your soul yearns for inspiration, though you see the visible invisibility, though you feel and breathe and love in absolute stillness, you are dead.
I want to think lovemaking is making new life. A new song, a poem, a painting. Taking their first steps are the drum beats. The first words, lyrics, and lines. Growing in their skin, paint strokes. But that's after lovemaking. After damp bed sheets. After the liquor. After saying yes. Love. Making noise all night. Saying, oh my. Actually seeing God in the corner of the room. Just watching us. Me loving you. Loving me so good. I think he's real. But what's real is the guilt of loving you too soon. Loving you until there's another one of you to love.
Crying tears of joy come few and far between. The sobs I sing are of sorrow, sickness, stress. Sadness turned to anger and then to anguish. Tears welling, bubbling over and exploding. For once, I would like to cry happy. I want my heart to be so full and stretched so wide that it can't help but to weep. A cry so pure and peaceful. Like seeing a double rainbow. Refreshing. Rejuvenating. Rare. Just for once. I want to cry happy.
And what is the aftertaste of fortune like? Why do we only know our heights well once we have inspected the distance? A mountaintop is nothing if there are no sediments beneath the fingernails, no bruises to the body for being kissed by cliff sides. How do we know the peak is the peak if we do not know all the places that it is not? They say that wisdom is learning from other people's mistakes. They say Damocles' blade swung so close to his cranium that he never craved for power again. The irony of Damocles becoming king for a day is that the problems he left on the ground didn't change once he got up from his seat. Only his understanding of them. The hardest thing about a peak you do not earn is that your lungs have no training on how to breathe at that height. The blessing of a fall is that on the way down, you might, at the very least, be able to catch your breath.
Who am I if I let myself be free? I lie in this lonely cage of my own creation. The love in my heart has begun to flee, and what replaces it is ash and alienation. One day, my heart had flourished like a tree. The next day, instead, there was dead vegetation. So here I lie, alone, so alone. Not a hopeful beam of light to be seen. Not having any house to call my home. Not a happy memory or even a dream. The face in the mirror isn't my own. No tree planted here can ever be grown.
Love is what? Love is an action, a responsibility, a right. Love is a form of grace, a contract, an excuse. Love is a choice. Love is life, healing, humbling, humiliating. Love is a gift from the force that put the stars in the firmament. Love is making me food. Love is holding my hand while I cry and not telling me that it's going to be okay, but just waiting with me until my eyes dry out. Love is listening to my rants of the day. Love is taking you to go get food. Love is showing up and cheering me on, seeing me and respecting my own name. Love is not why you beat me. Love is not hurting you more than it hurts me. Love is never a threat. Love is not out of obligation. Love is not the center of our universe. Love is our greatest fear, staring us in the face and saying, I got you. Love is what tears us apart. Love is so abstract, yet so simple. Love is needed in the air today. Love is not by accident. One glance and I'm swept away. No. Love is finding me honestly and wholly. Love is what?
Innocently reminiscing, I scour through my archives. You always told me how important it was to keep memories, so I never let them go. I rifle through the moments past, the ones I could never remember, the ones I wish I could forget, the ones that felt so fresh I could taste them. And then I heard your voice. It was so soft and soothing. It reminded me of comfort. It reminded me how uncomfortable I was. It reminded me that I would never hear that sweet sound ever again. Because you're gone. And no amount of nostalgia was ever going to change that. I let out the loudest sobs, hoping that somehow they would grace your ears, mourning you like the first day, listening to your voice over and over and over.
The cannon sounds. The sun peeks over the trees. Last man standing, I won. The crown, riches, you're victor, philanthropist. The notoriety, your aspiration. I wanted survival. A race I did not choose to run. No choice. Chose me to outlast, outsmart. Chose these wrists, chose these eyes, made them a killer before I looked at them knowing what they were myself. Only know now, terrified, traumatized, immortalized victor. Your race chose me and made me a killer.
I know you've been in high demand, and we're on different paths. If you can just call me right back. I know you're making plans. I don't think that you understand. I'm like your biggest fan, so when you can just call me again, I'll still be waiting here. I know you've been in high demand. I kinda figured that, just call me back when you get the chance. I hate I have to ask, still don't think that you understand. I'm like your biggest fan, so when you can just call me again, I'll come back rushing in. So what, you been in high demand? I still don't give a damn. I need you to call me again. Before things start going bad, tell me what I don't understand. I was your biggest fan. Now I'm flying solo again. Feels like I'm gonna crash. Roaming on my own is the only way I know to go for sure. I felt alone at home, so leaving tracks for those that get too close, the only way I know to cope with feeling hopeful. I hope that you know you meant way more to me than metaphors and inside jokes. It's hella notes I wish I wrote, and way more things I left unsaid. I guess instead of verse of 10 will make amends. It all depends on if the lens you see this from will still make sense. I pray this age like good Merlot. It's not much that keep me pressed. Everyone I love, I've learned to fear. It's hard to risk attachment. I done been abandoned by some folks I knew from jump was bandits. I got bruises, cuts, and wounds in places niggas cannot bandage. I've been shaken up so much, my heart feel crushed, my mind concussed, my thoughts feel damaged, get riled up and then come crashing. You're always there with tea in hand for when I land. I don't think that you understand. I really am your biggest fan. I really am your biggest fan. I really am your biggest fan, and I know you've been in high demand, and we're on different paths. If you can just call me right back, I know you're making plans. I don't think that you understand. I'm like your biggest fan, so when you can just call me again, I'll still be waiting here.
Swimming through my sea of sorrows, nearly drowning, but somehow treading water. Learning to doggy paddle in, backstroke through, and float on top of my trauma. Releasing myself to the lack of control, succumbing to the waves, being accustomed to being swept under the ocean's ravenous pull. This liquid body, beginning as a puddle, quickly became the Red Sea, growing larger each time tears were drawn, each time blood was shed. The waters surround and suffocate me, but I continue to swim. Swimming day in and day out. I wonder what it feels like to walk again.
Too long have we found light in darkness. Too long we're told to make lemonade. Maybe I don't want to turn into a swan, but be a beautiful duck from the start. In these skins, we create beautiful things from ugly things. Our glory songs are cries of survival. What if spirit didn't just keep us alive, but helped us grow? What about thriving over surviving? My future desires beautiful things born from beautiful things, where I'm already served lemonade. Add raspberry after it. Where the light we come from encourages us to find different hues and saturations instead of being asked to be seen in the first place. Too long have we been the heroes. Too long have we prayed about it. How many times can Moses part the Red Sea? Let's start with milk and honey and look for different, not just better.
If hearts weren't fragile, I'd still love you. If hearts weren't fragile, you'd be free to curse me, cheat me, and I'd stay forever. Allowing you to put my heart in a shredder, throw around the pieces like confetti, jump in the remains like leaves in fall. If hearts weren't fragile, mine wouldn't break so often.
Bring inner voice to life. Put pen to paper, articulate brain matter. One nerve to two nerves. Have the nerve. Thought cemented is the gift of writing, pouring my spirit into the material world, called making magic. Maya made magic. Conjure her spirit, reciting phenomenal woman, a woman's work. When the caged bird sings, her voice still rings eternally. Tony made magic, brushed dust off worlds buried in her mind. Beloved tales coiled in her hair, fell from her mind, binary breaking. Master's narrative to worlds where ghosts are real and black men fly. August made magic, captained a time-traveling ship through a century unchained, 10 stops on a journey never seen before. Once upon a time, dear diary, in the beginning, words open doors, dimensions different, imagination real. Writing makes magic happen. Bodies systemically bound. Songs, plays, books, paintings prove mind soul free. On the stage or in a page, limitless, eternal, multidimensional.
This is your first bitter taste of fear and your last taste of freedom.
Silver and gold tell stories that almost no one knows.
A race I did not choose to run.
On the stage,
in a page, limitless, eternal, multidimensional. Crispy sun on my skin, I'm gonna win. All the angels on my side today. Roasted leaves in my heart, I'm gonna sin, 'cause I know that my mama's gonna pray. Crispy sun on my skin, I'm gonna win. All the angels on my side today. Roasted leaves in my heart, I'm gonna sin, 'cause I know that my mama's gonna pray. Crispy sun on my skin, I'm gonna win. All the angels on my side today. Roasted leaves in my heart, I'm gonna sin, 'cause I know that my mama's gonna pray.